So not much work getting done today. And there's certainly nothing going on with the Jeep. Snowing in Nashville. What's up with that? It is one slick road. Yuck. Hey, David from Redneck Garage. Today I'm going to talk about rust. That's right. Rust. It attacks all kinds of metal and it gives us a big pain in the rear end. So on the front end I replaced the ball joints, the tie rods, the drag link, all those components were brand new, but the knuckles were in really bad shape as far as rust goes, and it was pretty thick rust. So I tried a bunch of different methods for removing the rust, read up a lot on it, and did some research. So this is the culmination of all my brilliance of looking into the rust issue that we have. When I get something that's really dirty, sometimes I'll take oven cleaner and spray it on it. And it actually eats a lot of this junk off, believe it or not. There are a couple things that I found out about rust that I didn't really know, but thought it made sense when I read it. First of all, that any of your products that you use on for rust removal will only work on surface rust. So with these knuckles, I noticed that the rust was very, very thick in places. So when you use a surface rust product, even navel jelly, I tried vinegar. All right, so we're gonna pour our solution in. And this is just straight up vinegar. I'm not gonna make any jokes today. Thought about it. But it does smell like vinegar. Or you know what's really good here in the South? We got cucumbers. You take cucumbers and onions, a little bit of tomato, little mater, you cut it up, and you put it in vinegar and you let it sit overnight. Man, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. So we're gonna let it marinate for a little bit, and we'll see what happens. It might end up feeling like as fresh as a summer's eve. That was terrible. No product that you use will do anything more than attack the surface rust. Anything that's deeper than that, or if it's caked on rust, you're only going to attack the very surface layer of it. So that was one thing that I didn't know. I thought that maybe it could penetrate in there, but no, that's not the case. The part that I found the most effective was to let it to sit in the solution, and then as it ate some of that rust away, take a wire brush, brush it, and then put it back in the solution. I could actually see a big difference as I was going through the processes of that. So I've got 4 chemicals right here that I used to try on this rust removal. One is Fast Etch from Eastwood, which I bought straight from Eastwood on their website. One is Loctite Naval Jelly Rust Remover, which I got at Home Depot. Cano X Rust, that came straight from Cano Labs when I bought my penetrating oil. I thought I'd try it. And then Pool Time Metal Stain and Scale whatever, and that comes from the Home Depot section in their pools. That was like 17 bucks. There's only one thing in all 4 of these products that actually removes the rust, and that's phosphoric acid. Each one of them has a concentration of phosphoric acid. The bath that I'm using is a bath mixture of water and acid, so it's not straight acid, but it is a mixture. As opposed to the vinegar, which may make you feel as fresh as a summer's eve, it did crap to remove the rust. But these products all did have some amount of rust removal. Okay, our front end parts are sitting in the phosphoric acid bath. This weather sucks! Anyway, I thought I'd take some time to talk about this rust stuff. You can see that, I don't know, can you see that? It's bubbling still and moving around, and wow. So, yeah, it's acid. I've had this in there for about a day, and you can see that it's eating the rust off. I did have to take a wire brush a little bit over it to hit it and then put it back in there. but I can see virgin metal underneath that, and it was really super rusty. So this stuff actually works fairly well. Okay, so this is the knuckle after I wire wheeled it after it's been sitting in the bath, and I'm going to put it in one more time. You can see the acid bath is bubbling up a little bit. I would say this too, that you can't just pour that on and it comes out a new part. You've got to do wire brushing and then put it back in there, and then wire brush it a little bit more and then take it out. But in a little bit we'll see the final result of how the knuckle looks when we're done with it. Okay, so here is some video of the knuckle right after it came out of the acid bath, and it's been washed with water. And I'm going to hit it one more time with the wire wheel before it's painted. But that's what it looks like. You can tell that it's already starting to rust with different little colors on there, so that's trippy. Okay, and here's what it looks like after I hit it with a wire wheel. Pretty clean, especially compared to what it looked like before. Looks really good. Okay, so I've got my chassis saver paint made by Magic Paint Company. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And I've got my disposable, get your cheapest paintbrushes you can get, disposable junk paintbrushes from Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. Okay, this paint isn't super thick, so I'm just going to liberally coat it, and if it runs off I don't really care, because I want to make sure that I get this coated really well. It's going to encapsulate any existing rust and prevent it from getting oxygen, which is really what you're looking for, is to stop oxygen from getting to the metal, and that's what stops rust. Okay, so here's the painted knuckle, and it looks awesome. And I will tell you that this paint will probably stay wet for, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. It's very, very slow drying. It has something to do with the hardening process of the paint. It actually is almost like a hardened paint, like you would have to put activator on once it's hardened. Just from opening the can where the paint was, I mean, it's really, really hardened. Stays a little bit flexible, but I mean, that part right there looks awesome. And it will outlast me, I'm sure. That's my guess. Here's an example of what I was telling you about. This is the nut that goes over the axle, and the nut itself. Those sat in the acid bath for a couple days, and they came out really beautiful. They look like they're almost brand new. And yet here's the bolts, and you can see that this bolt here had existing rust on it, so it couldn't work through that large of a layer of rust, right? Even though it was in the bath the same amount of time, that rust was too thick for it to affect, because it only works on the surface. And then of course here's the bolt after I took a wire wheel to it, and that's ready for paint. That looks great. But your acid bath is only going to work on the very surface of the rust. It won't go down if you've got more rust than that. Okay, so my final thoughts on rust and how I treated it and everything else. First of all, you're going to lose the battle against rust every time. There's going to be something happen to the paint, something scratches, air, water gets to it, and then the rust will start to reappear. That's just the way it is. You're not going to fight that. Second thing I recognize is that any type of treatment that you use is only going to work on the surface of any type of metal. So if you've got rust that's built up, or you got a little bit of extra rust from years of use, dipping it in a bath is only going to start taking that top layer off, and then after that you're really not doing anything. 3, if you want anything to come out well, you got to put a little work into it, which means using a wire brush, sandpaper, whatever you want to do to get that off of the metal. That's how you get a lot of it off. Now, I will say that of all the things that we tried, vinegar, no. So the acid bath did work in some regards, but it still took a wire wheel to clean it up. And if you don't do that, then I think you're just whistling Dixie. I will have some more videos on the painting and the paint itself. So that's going to be coming up when I paint the frame. That's going to be in not too distant future. We'll be doing that, and I'm going to discuss the paint more in detail. But what I do use is the magnet frame paint. You can get it on eBay. You can also buy it on their website. But it is a really good alternative to something like POR 15, which I'm not that happy with. I don't like POR. I've sprayed some of it, and it was just nasty. So that's going to be it for the rust. Stay warm because it's snowing here in Nashville today, and we'll turn some more wrenches.